Hey everyone, and welcome to Pump Room Presents Soundcheck. Today we have the one and the only Mr. Rohan Kapoor. This is sort of Rohan Kapoor 2.0.
EDM or whatever you want to call it. Everyone says electronic dance music, but for us, it's emotional dance music.
Wow.
So now the melodic sound, in my opinion, is very saturated. But then there are the wonderful part of the underground community and the underground music world is there will always be some people who will try to push and set new boundaries.
Plus your name is Rohan Kapoor, dude. You're born to be a Bollywood celebrity.
Yep. Born to be a Bollywood DJ. If you don't love it from your core, you're not going to last.
Soundcheck.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Pump Room Presents Soundcheck. Today we have the one and the only Mr. Rohan Kapoor. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sid.
Absolute pleasure. First of all, I want to start off by saying major congratulations on the new EP.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. I actually got to play some music yesterday at my gig as well. Massive response, as always. And
I want to see videos. I want to finish this.
I'd love to send them. Right, so obviously the EP Signs of Life is out on Atlant.
Yeah, that's correct.
Say
Atlant.
Atlant. Right. It's obviously a major deal, man. Like I said, we're super proud of you, bro. Major congratulations. Tell us a little bit about this EP.
It's 3 songs. It's got different styles. I'm actually going to be playing them tonight as well. I'm going to try them out. I'm going to try one out for the first time. The other 2 I have tried before and they worked really, at least the last few times they worked really well.
Right.
There's Signs of Life, which is the title of the EP, which is a more very conventional melodic prog vibe. Then there's Bohemia, which is a little more experimental, but it's still got that melodic emotion in it.
Right.
And then the last one's Electric Symphony.
Yeah.
That's
my
like a
favorite
little
one.
breakbeat electronic kind of artsy side that we brought out. And the EP kind of just defines who we are as artists. It's basically bringing up, we love emotional dance music. From EDM or whatever you want to call it, everyone says electronic dance music, but for us, it's emotional dance music because we have 2 simple policies when we make music. It needs to have tons of emotion and it needs to have energy.
Right.
That's just our premise when we start a song, and this EP is kind of a summary of that.
Right.
So it's got all the spectrums of dance music. It's got a breakbeat, it's got a little more, like I said, bohemic vibe, which is why I said Bohemia, we call it Bohemia, and Signs of Life, which is the usual melodic sound that we dig, the kind of sound we dig. So,
amazing.
So that's
Crazy. I can't wait to hear your set today.
Thank you.
We're all
Man.
super
I'm
excited.
looking forward to it too. Lots of unreleased material as well.
Amazing. So you spoke a little bit about, about your sound, what your inspirations are, what your mindset is. So I want to continue on that theme a little bit, right? This is sort of Rohan Kapoor 2.0, if you will, for the world. So I want to talk about that as well, right? Like what sort of led to this major shift in your sound and your whole philosophy as an artist?
It's honestly, that's the core me. I grew up listening to all sorts of dance music, like whether it's, I don't know, man, I can remember since the age of 10, I've been listening to music, and I think somewhere, if I look back or I think back, electronic music did creep in one way or the other. If I start naming artists, none of you guys will probably know because I was a toddler and you guys probably didn't exist. So, but the early 2000s is when obviously I started entering nightclubs and, going for parties, and that's when I discovered electronics. So that time, dance music was always underground.
Right.
It just over time has blown up. So what happened is when I made this a career, it kind of became a little more mainstream. And I got stuck in it, I'd say so, because I think I broke through at a time where everything was blowing up. I've always been a huge house music fan.
Right.
And I think at that point in time, house music evolved into a little more louder, big room, whatever you want to call it. But even then, in the mainstream time, I tried to steer away and have my own samples and still keep the core of house music in my sets.
Right.
But I just outgrew it, man. I just eventually, it's funny that you asked me this question because 15 years ago or whenever I started listening, all the songs are coming back. It's the same songs that are being sampled. They just have new drums, they have new elements, whatever at the end of the day. But it's all come back in full circle. And that's who I am as an artist. So for me, this time is wonderful because I'm getting to play music that I truly, truly love and enjoy.
Amazing.
That's
Thanks.
it.
Thanks for sharing that, bro. And yeah, talking, a little bit more about, your roots. You're from Bangalore. You've been.
Bangalore's home. Bangalore's everything to me.
Right.
It's probably given me everything, and I don't think I'd be a DJ or a producer if it wasn't for Bangalore City, because I think back in the day, again, Bangalore was the only place pushing dance music.
Right.
There's some very renowned, respectable DJs that pushed the sound. In fact, you guys have worked with Dheeraj, who calls himself Pawaka Deej now.
Right.
I remember listening to him in one little corner in a pub back in 2004-5 when I was in college or whatever. So, yeah, it's been home and a huge influence for dance music for me. And I won't change it for the world. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do it here.
Deej is, of course, a dear friend and a major inspiration. I absolutely love his music, and like you said, I'm just a fanboy, man. Like I am of yours, of course. So just doubling down on that a little bit. How has the music scene really evolved specifically in Bangalore? Right, like you said early on, it was sort of spearheading the electronic music scene. Do you think it still is doing that, and how has it evolved?
I mean, I do feel the other metros have caught up. Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad, Calcutta, even the smaller cities, like you go far east, you go to Siliguri, you go to Guwahati, the scene is really, really good. The thing is, social media and the internet has changed everything.
Right.
So back in the day, I think it was just about creeping in, but now everybody's on Instagram, everybody's on Snapchat, whatever, at the end of the day. So they're aware. The awareness is way more than what it is and was back in the day. So, but if it comes to pushing the scene, yeah, Bangalore's always going to be a huge part. I don't know about forefront anymore, because every city's got their own little nooks and crannies of pushing a different scene. Like Bangalore has a wonderful, thriving drum and bass scene right now. They have a house scene, they have a prog scene, they have an open format scene. So then you have Bollywood, and then you had the commercial scene or whatever, the techno scene, the hard techno. You name it, it's here. In other cities, I don't live there, but when I do visit there and I'm gigging, if I happen to stumble upon these gigs or whatever, and knowing people in the industry, they do have their nooks and crannies, and I'm sure everyone's pushing their scene there. But I will always be biased to this city, and I think it's always going to be pushing sounds, and I'm so happy it is.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, this city, like you said, has given you so much, and like just like that, it's given us so much as well, right? And we're eternally grateful to it. I don't know if we would have been able to kind of take these big leaps if we had been in any other city. I don't know. We'll never find out. But absolutely grateful to the city. I want to ask you a bit of an uncomfortable question, Rohan. I think we've all had a phase where we've had not so successful gigs, right? You are obviously in a very different phase of your life. So I'm curious, do you still have those gigs where, there probably aren't a lot of people on the floor, or even if people are there, they're just not feeling it? So number one, does that still happen? And if it does, how do you deal with it?
I think any DJ, big or small, medium, whatever, has to go through it. I've seen international DJs pay tons of money, come and play to 10 people.
Right.
So for me, that's just part of the cycle and the ecosystem. I think after I changed the Rohan 2.0 that you brought up, I was very selective about what I was doing, and then again I can say it, got greedy and took things that I shouldn't have taken, and I paid the price for that, but now dialed it back again, and that was my learning from Rohan 1.0. Don't overdo, don't do too much. So even now, you won't see me playing more than twice a month in this city, in one city. It's a thumb rule I have now, because I think that there's only that much music that comes out, and one of the biggest things that I take pride in and I focus on as a DJ is to play fresh music. I truly believe as a DJ, as an artist, you're pushing boundaries, and especially now when everyone has access to Spotify and Apple Music and whatever, they know music, and you need to introduce new sounds and new music to them. And if you're not doing that, I don't think you're doing a great job. And that's my personal opinion. I know a lot of other people play known music or whatever, but that's me personally. So now I'm just very selective. I choose if it's something that I'm going to vibe with and I think it has immense potential, I will do it. And yeah, that's how I'm doing gigs right now. But yeah, it's definitely part and parcel of the ecosystem, and it's going to happen to everyone, like I said, big or small. So
I know right before the interview we were talking about something, and you said the music scene is probably not where it should have been or where it should be. So maybe if you want to just bring up that conversation
I just
again.
feel like music is always evolving. It used to be every 10 years, then it became every 5 years. I feel it's rapidly evolving now. So now the melodic sound, in my opinion, is very saturated. But then there are the wonderful part of the underground community and the underground music world is there will always be some people who will try to push and set new boundaries. And that's the conversation I had recently with a friend, very big DJ who's become a friend now.
Right.
And we were just talking about how XYZ artists are trying to step out of it. It's not easy. Trust me, producing is not sitting in front of a computer and just throwing stuff together.
Right.
It has to come from within. And if you hear music and sounds, you have to feel it and you have to picture it. And I think slowly that shift has begun. If you look at a lot of the labels, there are some labels still putting the same stuff out. It's very repetitive. But yeah, there's also a huge segment who's doing new things, and that's where I'm always pulled towards.
Right. Amazing. I want to talk a little bit about CultureKind now. Of course, like we said, you've recently released your EP. We can't wait to hear more music from you guys. So just tell us a little bit about that, right? How did the two of you really kind of get together? How did it happen? And what roles do the two of you kind of have individually?
So CultureKind actually is another 2.0 of me and Elias. Elias is the other half of CultureKind. We actually met maybe in 2014 when I enrolled into Point Blank, London, which is an online school for production back in the day. I had already finished a master's in film and television, so I wasn't going to spend more money and go back to England. So I decided to do an online course, and it was a 6-month course, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Point Blank, because the basics were given by them, and it all started from there.
Right.
And that's where I met Elias, and I think we were the only two in class that kept asking questions, were curious, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And our music taste and references are very similar. He was very into Steve Angelo and Axwell or whatever back in the day, and so was I. That's the connecting part that started. And then we exchanged projects, and it was more collab than anything else. So you finish this, I finish that, you get this melody, you get. And honestly, if you ask me right now, I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. Where someone living who I've never met in real life, on the other side of the world, who we Skype on, not even on video, just on voice call on Skype, make music and just decide, you know what, you're doing nothing, I'm totally into this, let's just give this a shot. And that's how me and him got together. We did launch as a more mainstream name back in the day called Crosses. If you go up, that's actually a very successful project. But me and Elias are very similar mindset-wise and music taste-wise and evolving-wise. And like how I outgrew a lot of the dance music from that time, he outgrew the sound as well. So we took a dial back. By then we had met new management in London. And it was just a collective decision that let's just drop Crosses. Let's not use that and put underground music because it's going to confuse the audience. We've not really broken through, so let's just find a new identity, a new alias, and let's start with that. And when we were about to do that in 2020, COVID came. So that pulled us back immensely till 2022 or whatever. So CultureKind is 2 years old right now, officially. It's everything kickstarted in 2022 with Warehouse Love, as you know, and Kid Paul. And then came Falling. And then we released 2 more, which is Reality and Hope. And then Embrace. And now here we are with the EP on Atlant. So it's been a slow but steady climb. Great people that we're working with label-wise. Our manager is wonderful. She keeps pushing us. And yeah, that's what it is. And when it comes to both of us individually, we are very different people. He's a huge pessimist. I'm a huge optimist. He's always like, this is shit. I'm like, no, it's not. Then I play the song, and then he realizes, oh, no, it's... And we have... But I think he, honestly, he's a genius. Like, his years... Like, my years for listening to music and playing music, I feel I'm gifted. His years for listening to sounds and the smallest of frequencies, which I'm telling you, I will never in my whole life be able to hear, he can pick out. He'll be like, oh, this is... So, we both got strengths. Like, melody-wise, we're both very similar. We like the same sounds. Drums, he's much more stronger because he thrives on that. He's actually an ex-metal band guitarist.
Okay, wow.
That's his evolution, and he was always into music, but then dance music happened for him.
Right.
So yeah, he's got his own strengths. As a producer, I've got mine, and somehow it just always works. And we fight, we do, like any two producers would.
Yeah,
but we know at the end of the day, we're fighting for both of us.
Yeah.
And that's all that is.
Amazing. I mean, you can definitely hear and feel the camaraderie that the two of you have. And like I said, I've played a lot of your music. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, man.
And always the reaction, oh my God, especially to reality. Even to this day, if I drop that track, I know the kind of reaction.
That's probably the least favorite for both of us now.
Because you played it
It's
so
probably
much?
the most noisiest one. But yeah, no, not only that, but like we also move past, and we also move with music. So we're like, okay, that's done now. Because we are making so much music that every time we make something, we're like, fresh, let's try it out. So,
Yeah.
but we still love it. It's got a special place. It's just crossed 400 odd thousand on Spotify.
Go check it out, guys. You're not going to regret it, but I'm sure most of you have already heard it. Hear it again.
Yeah, please do. Let's cross 500,000 now.
Yeah, let's do this. Great. So, one interesting thing is that the two of you have not played together yet. Is that right?
As CultureKind, no.
As CultureKind,
Sadly,
you have.
that hopefully by the end of this year is the goal.
Right.
Should happen.
Yeah.
If not next. But we knew this. We knew because we had experienced that with Crosses. Because with Crosses, we just about started to break through. We got signed in Mix Mash, and they took us to China. We played Amsterdam. We played Dubai. India, obviously Sunburn. And it was just so, we know the trajectory, and labels abroad, management abroad, agencies abroad don't really risk it with new artists. They see you, wait for you, and then they push you. So
Right. Looking forward to that, man. I can't wait to see the both of you together and play
for
some
him
of
to
this music.
feel those reactions. He just sees videos right now, which is unfair. Which is very unfair to him because he's sitting in his studio and just not experiencing it. So
Right. One thing I want to talk about, Rohan, is the fact that you've created so many brands and taken them to a certain level. Is it challenging now to kind of start from scratch, or is it really helpful because you have that experience and you can scale that brand?
it's just, again, like I said, it's something that's part of the industry. There's always going to be phases. Things are going to come, things are going to go. It's how you evolve with the industry. So when I started in 2010-11, I broke through in Bangalore, in India. We had this IP called Addicted to House.
Right.
And house music was big back then.
Right.
And that died. Then I tried other IPs, which some worked, some didn't work. So it's all about trial and error, and I'm always up for pushing this thing. I'm like you guys at Punk Room.
Yeah.
Exactly the same mentality. You want to push the boundary.
We try.
Oh, you're doing a wonderful job, so it's all good.
Thank you so much for saying that. Obviously, you are going to be playing at the first ever Pump Room Open Air Festival, and you're playing two sets. And you're playing
One's
two
a
sets.
pure CultureKind set. The outdoor one's a pure CultureKind. There's no one else's music but ours, Elias and mine. And yeah, the indoor one is a mix mash of everything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So you've never played a full CultureKind set?
So I don't get butterflies usually now because that's what you say. But today I definitely have some.
That's exciting, man. That's really exciting. Wow, can't wait. Continuing on the theme of kind of old versus new, what has been your most sort of career defining moment, if you will? What's been like that big change, or what have been those big changes?
Twice. One was the one I just mentioned to you back in the day at Pebble, which you love as well. Everybody loves, but
of course,
that little IP called Addicted to House. I think me and the crew are the only few who've managed to shut the gates of Pebble because it's that big, and we had that many people. So that IP was a very successful one. And now with the second one, I'd say the Hot Since 82 gig. That defined.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, because he actually came right when I started my set, and I was just about entering the 2.0 phase. So everybody's like, who's he, whatever. And he loved it so much that he kept telling the promoters, I want his number. And he actually personally texted me post the gig and said that was one of the nicest sets he's heard in his whole tour in India, Asia, whatever he was doing at that point in time. And that for me, I think that sat well with the promoters and people around or whatever. And that was the second new beginning.
Wow, interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting maybe like a sunburn or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but all that came later. But this was like the true defining moment for my second evolution, basically. Yeah.
Right. Amazing. And you also mentioned that you did your masters in film and television. I did a little bit of research as well, so I knew that. And plus, your name is Rohan Kapoor, dude. You're born to be a Bollywood celebrity.
Yep. Born to be a Bollywood DJ. Everyone's like, there's so many times back in the day, oh, is he going to play Bollywood? Is he going to play Bollywood? But now, I think the great thing with the underground scene is where I'm the most comfortable as well now is everyone knows. They know what they're going for. They know who they're going for. And it's a very strong word of mouth community. So I don't have that issue anymore.
Right.
Not anymore.
Yeah, just sticking to that question. You did, like I said, your masters in film and in television production. Did you want to pursue that, or was that something you were just doing?
Unfortunately, post-college, I wanted to become a DJ. But Bangalore got hit with the curfew of 11:30. I think you were in Delhi then. But everyone else who's a Bangalore person knows. Bangalore used to shut till 11:30 till 2013.
Okay.
Everything shut. Clubs, the ones that were supposed to open, residencies that were supposed to happen, all went. So, you're in that, what do you do with your life? And everyone's forcing you moment. This was the next best option because I was a creative person. I was never going to do a desk job. So, the plan was to do that, come back, go to Bombay, and start fresh. But that didn't happen.
Did you finish it?
Yeah. I finished the course. I came back. And I was looking for jobs. I was applying for jobs, and a DJ friend of mine said, "Why don't you come jam with me? I know you're back in town." The rest is history.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, I think most of us, I don't think we ever kind of had this notion of, we want to become a DJ and, this is what my... Okay.
I've always wanted, for me, the minute I remember at the age of 12, I think each city has their gymkhanas and their local clubs or whatever. I saw a DJ. I was 12. I saw him. I saw him control an audience. I saw him tell a story. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I always knew.
Interesting.
But it was never a viable career back in the day. Now...
Is it still? Is it?
Well, if they pay you on time.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started, Rohan. Sorry, go on.
No. So that's just basically the summary of it all. So no looking back now.
Right. I want to talk a little bit about, like you said, payments are a bit of a challenge in this country. What do you feel is, what's the number one thing you're most hopeful about in this country? And what do you think is the biggest challenge
I feel like somewhere a little bit structures coming in. Now, like say Pump Room, and I'm not going to take out the names, but there are other agencies and there are other groups that are coming into Bangalore now and getting it a little more organized. Like they have their own artists, you have your own artists. So if you have people taking care of the admin side of things and the business side of things, you as an artist can just focus on the music. And that's a huge positive in Bangalore.
Right.
All over India. I think now artist agency is going to come to a point where that's just how it's going to become. Eventually, I'd say in 5 years, you can't just walk up. It'll be agency oriented.
Right.
Which is structure. And that is what this industry needs, structure.
And challenge?
Challenge is for it to happen because of the various pay grades, various entry levels and exit levels. So, a small DJ, an agency will not risk it. Like, why should I sign you? So, then it'll come to a point where you have to come with music. You have to become, and that's also another point that I know is going to be true in time, is you have to be an artist and not just a DJ. To be valued, followed, and respected.
Right.
So that you will always have residents, you will always have people doing the DJ part of it. But to be an artist, you have to have your own music and identity.
Agreed.
And that started. There's so many people doing whatever now in India and outside.
Just double clicking on that, Rohan, what do you think is what's the most valuable insight that you've gathered so far as an artist and as a DJ? You've obviously gone through the ups and downs. You've seen pretty much all of it. So all of the young, I mean, it's a cliche question, but it's really
and it's
useful,
a cliche answer. Just keep the love alive. Because if the love is there, you'll be able to do it for a long time. If the love is not there, you'll get burnt out. Situation like you said, payments or whatever, like music scenes changing and everything evolving. So if you don't love it from your core, you're not going to last. And it's not going to last for you. You will find something, and you said, and everyone at Pump Room is going to see in the next 5 years of DJs coming and going, artists coming and going. It's circumstance, it's setting, it's whatever the other, but if the true heart is there, those people will weather the storm and come through the next 5 years as well. So that's my take. Man. It's a cliche take, but it's,
no, it's
the love is. That's the reason I'm here. The day I stop loving this, you won't see me anymore.
That's beautiful, man. And it's true. This is not at all an easy game to play, man. Like most
you have
of
to be
us,
very mentally strong.
Really mentally, emotionally strong as well, man.
It's a very lonely game too at times.
There's so many challenges, and you don't even realize that like every single phase you recognize, okay, like there's a new set of challenges that I've got to deal with now. So yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, point absolutely well made that the love has got to stay alive, right? And it's going to be challenged. That love is going to be challenged through the various reasons
that's
around.
It, man.
Right?
Like for me to find new music, see that reaction, that's what keeps me going. Like it's that feeling, you know what the feeling is. It's next to none. Give me any amount of money, you can't replace that feeling of seeing that euphoria on their face or realizing that, oh, you found a song that they really like. It's Sometimes it looks very easy, but it's not.
It's not.
Telling a story is never easy.
Thank you so much for doing this, Rohan. I just have one last question for you before I let you go. Just tell us a little bit about what's coming next, man. We can't wait. We've seen so many versions of you and so many versions of your music. We're curious and excited to know what's coming up.
There are no more new versions of me. This is the final run now. So this sound is only going to evolve. We're just in the studio 24/7 now, man. So there's some follow-up collabs coming out. We're still label hunting, and there's lots of new music that I'm even testing out tonight. But yeah, there's a lot that I can't even speak of right now because it's all work in progress. So yeah, it's just music. CultureKind is my focus right now. And like I said, one gig or a few gigs by the end of this year with Elias is top priority.
Amazing, bro. We can't wait. Again, thank you so much for doing this, Rohan.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
It was fun.
I always learn something or the other whenever I sit down and chat with you, either
my pleasure,
off camera or on camera. So thank you so much for doing this, man.
Thank you, man.
I wish you all the very best for whatever you're coming up with next. And you make us super proud. We're super happy.
And thank you guys for pushing the scene, man. Like you guys are doing a wonderful job and you've taken the mantle on head on. So good on you for battling through all your battles, which I know of off camera. But more power to you guys at Pump Room and Slate. So.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
So much. All the
thank
best
you.
for your
Thank you, man.